What's going on?
Mommy, we miss you. We miss you so much. We shall talk more later.
That's on a box. Hey.
There's so much to talk.
Oh, honorable.
The cameras on him.
Come and do government business. Just to do government business.
So what do you say? I mean,
Ghanaians have spoken. We should listen to them.
is there any more you're expecting from the sitting today and going forward?
I'm not in charge of the agenda. Those who are the business managers will agree on the agenda, and those of us who are members of parliament will do accordingly.
Are you expecting all your colleagues to be present for business today?
It's my expectation that parliamentarians will do their work. Maybe there might be a colleague here who is on parliamentary business outside the chamber. But I'm expecting all parliamentarians to do their work.
Second. This is office. You guys are not coming right now. I don't know if I'm coming. I don't honestly. There's no possibility about Adeo. I hear you. Wasn't it?
Retake it. Yes, retake it.
Yeah, that's right. The business of this meeting should focus on the budget for the first 3 months of 2025. And then the MPP caucus must recognize that the Ghanaian people have voted to reset this country. They voted against all of these crony tax waivers, which is just not in the national interest. I mean, President Akufo-Addo took office promising, read his first State of the Nation address, that he was going to deal with this abuse of tax waivers, and that tax waivers have been a drain on national revenues. So what has changed? I mean, there's no way we are going to support over $350 million in tax waivers to their crony companies. I mean, these are the things Ghanaians voted against: state capture, cronyism, nepotism, things that, I mean, you keep imposing excruciating, obnoxious, nauseating, nuisance taxes on the ordinary Ghanaian. Then those who can pay, corporate Ghana, a selected few, just about 46 companies, because they are your cronies, they shouldn't pay taxes. They should have tax waivers. Why? When everybody else, when the Ghanaian people, the masses, said that don't impose e-levy, you slapped us in the face and even organized a party and baked an e-levy cake, insulted us on top of it. And all of them, the top hierarchy, were at that party. When the Ghanaian people said that, look, we hate e-levy. I mean, Momo is for the vulnerable. the ordinary folks. Don't tax it. They defied us. That's why they have been punished. We have stated that we are the only country, many months after COVID has been declared by WHO as no longer a pandemic. Ghana is the only country that our president continues to tax us. We have said COVID levy should go. They are refusing to abolish COVID levy, refusing to abolish the emissions tax, refusing to abolish the betting tax. And yet they've selected a few crony companies. And in this last minute, midnight, at the death of the administration, when they have been so roundly rejected by unprecedented margins, a margin of over 1.6 million, you still want to come and smuggle tax waivers. We are not going to accept it. We would not. Because we are coming in to remove all of these obnoxious taxes. So we are going to have to deal with revenue shortfalls because of these taxes we are going to remove. The companies who must pay their fair share, you want to select your crony companies, about 46 of them, and make us lose revenue of over $350 million. That $350 million, it can help the new government to establish the Women's Development Bank so that our women can have their capital. That $350 million can help us to implement the no-fee stress so that first-year students who gain admission to our universities will not have to pay admission fees. It can help us to complete the e-blocks. It can help us to complete the Agenda 111 hospitals. Why do you want to deny the new government, the incoming government, of over $350 million in national revenues? Because you don't want your crony companies to pay their fair share. Look, the only matter we will work with, so far as revenues are concerned, is if they agree with us that immediately we should abolish e-levy, we should abolish the COVID levy, abolish the emissions tax, abolish betting tax. That one they will get our cooperation because we've stated clearly on the campaign trail, it's in our manifesto. And we said in our first budget, the first 120 days, we are going to abolish all these taxes. But any other revenue measure targeted at supporting crony companies, nepotistic companies, how did they select those companies? What criteria was used? And they hide under, we are supporting 1D, 1F. It is not true. They just don't want crony companies to pay their fair share, and we are not going to allow that. Thank you. Ghana for atu etia MPP. Omo bad governance. Ede ahuchireba. Yenyana. Yehu achire. Mene okasa sese. Dodona omo investment in the name of financial haircut. One kasa usika why investment. You can't have access to it. Oshe yemai bibia asay. The year who de bia any katashishe dream any project. Yaba parliament and there. Ye de na ye jinse urgent matter. You expect to say a better business statement. Ye be yen hojuma. Any the budget for the first 3 months. The first 3 months of 2025. So that new finance minister ever presented the budget of the new government to indicate the priorities of the new President-elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And the Galamsey matter, amending the airline, those are urgent matters. But to our surprise, no, the Honorable Afenyo Makin and the MPP side, and Nema Ghana for are rejecting this business of tax waivers. Over $350 million tax waivers, almost selective, almost companies, crony companies. EPSA, Yama, those about 46 companies, no, tax waivers, say, Omodia, Omuntia taxes. Yentiasia, for many months, Ghana for any year on the minority side, Yaka said, the issues about your taxes which have to be addressed. Any taxes are a year very obnoxious, nuisance taxes. They say COVID levy. Ghana Nkwana, COVID, WHO declared is no longer a pandemic. Many months ago, Yankwana, Yagoswa, Yaji, COVID levy. Yankwana, Yaji, e-levy. Betting tax, emissions tax. taxes we mo amuka say move on mine from taxation to production. Mo na mo be impose taxes are ekuyen, businesses are collapsing. Let us rather address that. E-levy, COVID levy, emissions tax, betting tax. Instead, no, more selected more favorite companies, crony companies, about 46. Kase yen supported tax waivers for them in excess of $350 million. Minya, sa $350 million. Mu pese mu deny incoming government, President Mahama government. Imagine what that $350 million can do. Yakase yeba. Ya pese ye establish women's development bank. Sa $350 million. Ebe to me abua ama yamba Ghana mba under the first female vice president of the republic, Professor Nana Agyapong. Ama mo to me anya omo capital to expand their businesses. Sa $350 million. Ebe to me abua ye. Ama ya expanding access in education to abolish double track because you to me a completely e-blocks no. AC dormitories, AC classrooms. There's no need for this, very detrimental double track to continue. So $350 million. I bet to me a boy, ya coin, yensio, your hospitals, your hospital re-equipping for more than 10 years. The last time I Ghana, hospital re-equipping, you tore X-rays, MRIs, dialysis machines, more than 10 years ago. $350 million. And the money said. President Akufo-Addo by Munko Kai in the first state of the nation. Or say tax waivers, no? A coup on my tax waivers in ye. Now tax waivers, as I say, you address it. It's a then assessor. Adena why you time. In this last minute, midnight way, Mupe say, Yebe approve tax waivers of over $350 million. As I said on the floor, they will not get our support. They won't get our cooperation. The only revenue measure, Yebe support you more. Any e-levy, you abolish it. Betting tax, you abolish it. COVID levy, you abolish it. Emissions tax, you abolish it. And then taxes are a bebwa the ordinary folks. And no dear, mon pese mu ye huejuma, mon pese mu be abolish it. But companies a kukudam, kesia omo award the muscle, the financial muscle to pay their fair share. Omo dear, mon pese omo beti omo fair share. Mo pese mo tax waivers. More selective 46 of them. Say, more be more tax waivers, more on taxes. Meanwhile, the masses, ya pamuchosa say e-levy should go, COVID levy should go. And during the campaign, more anti say Baumia Eka say COVID levy on support Beko. Say e-levy, obechum. This is the opportunity. Why are you bringing something else? Something that you didn't promise the Ghanaian people. That's something that is not, contained in your manifesto. Something that in your first State of the Nation address, say tax waivers, no, deny Ghana revenue and boye. Into a then assessor, into yama firm indication and assurance. Say this tax waivers agenda, and dear, yabepene. The only business as I say this time, but these few days we have these dying moments of the 8th Parliament, and it's one. Budget so that we can pay workers for 2025, the first 3 months. Number 2, Galamsey, the Galamsey crisis, the LI has to be repealed. And then possibly number 3, the transition, Speaker Bagbin, the presidential transition bill, and maybe an environmental protection bill. Now we were almost done. But any business out of this, particularly tax waivers, then idea
if you see that no one is here, then I know my now, we are victory and Munyano, Nanui, where the Binsi do, a dear Jumas Ronco, and a Moya Kofa we buy.
Well, a campaign, your candidate was very hardworking. I brought no go round, no, now, the Binomo Enenam, Adiagro said, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was in going. Look, the minimum times he visited a constituency was 3 times, minimum, and only minimum. That's the barest minimum. Aside the 3 times now, for main political campaign, or for either a year and now a sorry program be and now a fashion program. So clearly, our candidate campaign, also campaign. The food soldiers work so hard. More media for so media. So it's a combination of all persons. And now we are so committed. So I would say Ghana, yes, sir, the arrogance. Now you're just too much. Disrespect.
Looking at the gap, any numbers among your parliament, you have no excuse but to make sure say Ghana for anybody ejuma mo be no.
Well, ejuma no dey ye be better say ye nyina ye kabom because for example, Mampenia ka say oral ye one of the big things ye ba be operation retrieve or loot. Say who winning bi na wa meka ye ntumi nkonkoye den enkonkoye mo ejuma. Me I was say ye from parliament ye be me I was say ye at cabinet levels ye be but I say ye nyina ye kabom na ye moa yen share information ebeboa ejuma no so.
There's oral no be ye ejuma na Ghana for do mo agime report.
Exactly. Because nipa what time o minus can or the kwa kusie kura ebi na obeboa na ama odi esie wo bibi. Enti se wo saa nipa no wan find information number ebe ye dey say ebi hu say bibi e wo. Cecilia da pa dey e ba abontin no say enye ne house helps for omo tambia ekoda na bibi no ka say ye nyina ye nti. So that is how it is that we must all be willing to share. Even
if we didn't say appointment in council, but ministry be
appointment no, yeah, dear,
but say about obey.
Well.